It won't be inchoate. I think I used the word correctly. It's the only way I'm going to figure to get that word in. The American Civil War. It was a turning point in American history. Had you asked me about this topic a month ago, I could have started this topic this way. 70 and 7 years ago, on the eastern slope of the Allegheny Mountains in Pennsylvania, a speech was given that was a defining moment in American history. That speech started 70 and 7 years ago. Our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation. Many of you will have memorized it in school. Most of you have heard it referenced in many ways. That speech was what defines America today. 262 words. The speech, though memorialized a cemetery, which memorialized the bloodiest event in American history, the Gettysburg Battle. 52,000 people were killed or wounded over those 3 days. In that Civil War conflict, 600,000 casualties out of a population of about 30 million. Could you imagine the impact those casualties would have today? But this speech, 262 words, defined where we are. It brought life to the Bill of Rights. Prior to this speech, the Bill of Rights was just a document. It began, the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights got life on that day. Those 260 words may go down as the greatest speech ever given by an American ever. The closest might be, I have a dream, but I won't be around long enough to know if it stands the test of time, as the Gettysburg Address. When the bicentennial came about, 1976, some of us were alive then, a delegation of Russians came over to honor the events that were going on. The first place they wanted to go was Gettysburg, because it was the defining moment in our history. That, in those days, it was not uncommon to have orators speak for hours upon hours upon hours. The speaker who was the keynote speaker was not Abraham Lincoln. It was, and his name escapes me, so see if I can think of it. But he was the keynote speaker of the time. He was the most popular speaker of the time, and his name escapes me. No, this would have been the battle, the memorial. His speech lasted 2 hours. Nobody remembers that speech today.
He remembers name.
His comment the day after about the Gettysburg Address was he would have loved to have defined the moment in 2 hours as it was defined in 3 minutes. In that speech, the battle was never referenced. No combatants were ever referenced. And in those days, the speeches were designed to give a narration of what happened. But what he did do was the speech was not written on a train riding up to D.C. on an envelope. It was well thought out, well defined. And in those days, the president was not given given the same status he has today. The Gettysburg Address would have been a state function, not a national function. State of Pennsylvania. So all he was there for was to write a greeting in recognition. And he did that in 262 words. Everything that we have accomplished since then, the moments that led up to, as I referenced earlier, I Have a Dream, got their birth on that day, November 17th, 1863, at the National Cemetery in Gettysburg. And I just went blank. Thank you very much.